Hi, everybody. It's episode 472 of PodQuest.
Hey!
It is Wednesday, August 30th, 2023. I am Chris. With me is Droo.
Hello.
And Walnut.
Hi.
Well, how are you guys doing? Other than you, Rich. We just heard about how you were doing.
I got a needle in my ankle today.
Oh, you actually got an injection.
Yeah. It wasn't fun because I have such little joint around my ankle that they needed to inject. It hurt because they had to find the joint material within it.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, it hurt.
And then you had to walk out of there, right?
I mean, that part is not painful. It's supposed to help with the inflammation and make it actually less painful. I'm not really feeling any more or less pain at the moment, so it's possibly doing its job. Honestly, really, at this point, it's, wait, I have to get new inserts, and then I can try running and see if I can run. And that's basically where we'll figure out if these helped or not. But yeah, I had, it was funny. The doctor said, he was like, we can do the injections. Are you afraid of needles? And I'm like, well, I mean, who isn't? But I'd rather just do it now than not do it at all. And he's like, true. And he's like, all right, we'll take care of it and get it done.
Ugh. See, I don't like needles. I'm not okay even thinking about that.
Yeah, the needle part is not what's scary. It's the pain that I don't like. But like I don't look, I don't watch, and that helps. And then they also they freeze it, or they put cooling spray to help
to like numb the
area a bit to make it less painful. It still hurts because they're only numbing the skin; they're not numbing everything else.
Next time, ask them to numb everything so it doesn't hurt at all.
Just put me under, and then do the injections.
Exactly.
But I feel like something like that is like brain surgery, where like they need you to be awake so that like you can actually, they know whether or not they're hurting you.
It's like there is actually like, it's not a spinal tap because that just has to do with the color of the liquid. But there is like one of those sort of like procedures that are like excruciatingly painful if done incorrectly, that they can't numb you or anything for, like, because they
bone
need
marrow thing or something.
Yeah, like they need you basically they need you to scream so they know when they've hit the right spot.
Yeah, and it's usually if it's something bone based, I'm sure, like bone marrow check or whatever, because like it hurts when they touch bone. It will hurt when they touch bone,
which is weird because like your bone doesn't have like the nerves on them.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't get it. It's also just weird to also think that bones are hollow.
Are they?
Well, I mean, hollow-ish.
Birds' bones are hollow, but like ours have some density to them.
They have some density to them, but like they're still like inside is still soft and gooey.
Oh yeah. Like the marrow is not like as solid. But when you say hollow, I think like a tube, like an actual empty tube.
Hollow-ish.
Well, that's depressing.
Body horror, guys. Gotta love it on PodQuest.
What's on the agenda?
On the agenda on this episode of PodQuest, I can't even remember if you finished saying that it was Wednesday, August 30th, 2023, and it was episode 472.
I did. I do that before I ask you how you guys are doing.
I wasn't paying attention, but just wanted to make sure. Anyway,
I do the same thing every week.
I don't pay attention. There's a little bit of upset about Sony right now that we're going to discuss. We all listened to a couple of albums, Yellowcard and Ludo. And then, Cobb, you read some comics. Droo, you played the Pokemon trading card game, and I played Palia.
You had to stop and try and remember what TCG meant, didn't you?
Yeah. A little bit.
I heard that pause, and I'm just like, somebody doesn't remember what TCG means.
Oh, it was more of like, I was trying to figure out how to talk about it without like saying exactly what it was. And so it was like, cause I was like, Chris, you read some comics. And then I got to Droo played, I can't just say video games. So Droo played the Pokemon trading card game. It just took me a second to remember, to figure out how to say it. But also, yeah, I had to remember that it was trading card.
But yeah, so I don't know that like there's a lot to talk about, but I was just curious like what your guys' thoughts were on the whole Microsoft Sony upping the price pretty dramatically on PlayStation Plus.
I don't know how much they're upping the price for monthly pay. I think I pay monthly. I might pay yearly. I actually don't remember the last time they actually took money out of my account.
I am almost certain you pay the yearly cost.
I probably do, but I don't remember. I don't know when the last time. I don't know when my payments go into effect. Because I believe for Prime I pay month. But yeah, Sony I think it's yearly. And I had a bunch of years banked up because they kept going on sale for free years here or not free.
So you have multiple PlayStation Pluses like stacked?
I had a couple of years stacked up. I don't know if I do anymore, which is why I'm like, I don't really know if or when or how much I've paid last. But $20 a year. Although yeah, it's under $2 a month, but it's still for something that I don't really use as often as I used to, and it's to me not worth it. So it's for everyone who doesn't know. I believe the basic PS Plus cost is going up from $60 to $80.
Correct.
And then the other ones, I don't have it open. The other ones are going up even more dramatically, like 100 to 130 or something like that.
It's basically every tier. So the lowest tier goes up 20, the middle tier goes up 30, and the high tier goes up 40, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
That's obnoxious.
They have not announced the monthly costs, or like they haven't confirmed that the monthly and 3-month versions are definitely going up.
I don't think the monthly is going to.
All they simply said was that buying it in a year will still be cheaper. And I personally think the biggest downside, like my biggest problem with this is I don't play games online. I don't know that I've ever. You know what? I played Rocket League online almost a decade ago. But other than that, like I don't know that I've ever really used the PlayStation Online for anything. And Rocket League, I think, is the only PS Plus game I've ever really played. So all I use it for are the cloud saves. And that's the only way to back up your saves on PS5. You can't move them to the external. You can't move them to an external drive, and I don't think you can move them to the secondary SSD if you do like the memory upgrade. I'm pretty sure your saves will only ever live on the soldered on storage. So like if your PlayStation 5 were to break or get stolen or die, like your save games are just gone.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I keep an eye out and play some of the PS Plus games, but like Death's Door, which I literally just played, became PS Plus for August. I played it on Game Pass and not on the fact that they were putting it on PS Plus, I was like, oh, you know what? I should finally play this game. But it was easier to play it via my PC instead of playing it via my PlayStation. And that's kind of where
especially
I'm at.
While you're streaming.
Yeah. And like that's currently where I'm at. Like if I could play any game on my PC, I'd much rather play it on my PC. Like Jedi Fallen Order, I played on the PlayStation because I had it for free from PS Plus. A lot of the games that I've played on the PlayStation as of late, with the exception of Final Fantasy 16, have really been the PS Plus games. But they're also like few and far between games that I actually really want to play. Like, since Jedi Fallen Order was free, there hasn't really been a game that I was interested in PS Plus until Death's Door. And if you're going to give me 3 sub-10-hour games a year, that's not worth $80.
Yeah. Drew, does this really have any impact? Like would you cancel PS Plus or anything?
Probably not. I mean, I have definitely been using it less lately, but it's
Do you use more than just, like, the cloud saves and occasional, like, online play?
I mean, you know, the occasional free PS Plus game that's worth it. Like, I played the shit out of Control, and, like, you know, I haven't really looked at much from this year, but, you know, I feel like
actually, I didn't realize
$40 to $60 game a year that winds up being worth it, kind of.
But if it's one $40 to $60 game a year that you got for free, but you paid $60 for it, is it worth it?
Well, when you factor in the cloud saves and the online play, like that would make up the other $20.
Which, on your note, cloud saves, backup saves, are you saying Xbox is free?
So cloud saves, Xbox will do for free.
But
online play, you do need to. I think you need to have a Game Pass subscription for online play because they got rid of Xbox Live.
Yeah,
but that again is like that's the forced payment for online play, whereas you could save that $60 and get said game on your PC, Drew, because you have a decent gaming PC, and not pay to play online.
I mean, A, not always. B, you know, depends on the game. C, I don't always want to play it on my PC because my TV is infinitely better.
I mean, you could That's that you could hook up your PC to your TV.
I could, but
that's a non-issue. Just saying you don't want to play your PC because your monitor is not as good as your TV, it's a non-issue.
That is a hassle. Not everybody has their PC like you have a setup where you can do that pretty easily. Like I'd have to disconnect all my shit and carry my PC downstairs.
You could set that up to not have to carry your PC downstairs.
And not without introducing fucking input lag and losing the reason to hook up to the better screen.
I still think even with having to disconnect and reconnect, it's a non-issue. If you wanted to play it on your TV, you could easily play it on your TV.
It's not a non-issue, but it is not really an issue. It's not a major issue, but again, like
it's
also,
a convenience issue.
Not everything comes out on PC. I don't want to play everything using a keyboard and mouse.
You don't. I play everything on PC on a controller.
Controller support on most PC games is much better now.
Literally, the only game that I use mouse and keys on is Apex, and I'm considering not doing that either. I am much better with every game on a controller on PC.
But yeah, I mean, my PS5 is better than my PC. Like,
I mean, currently your PS5 is better than your PC, but prior to having a PS5, you had a good gaming PC.
I have a better gaming PC now than I've had. The PS5 is more powerful than my fucking PC that I spent $2,000 on.
But you're spending $60 a year to be able to play Apex with me.
Fucking other random shit here and there.
When you could just not spend the $60 a year and me and you can still play Apex.
Oh, I didn't realize Apex was crossplay, is it?
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, for some reason I didn't think it was.
The only issue would be that Droo would lose all of his progress from his PS5 Apex if he were to switch over to PC.
Oh.
So, like, he wouldn't have all of his characters and things saved. Which, yes, it sucks, and I hate that. But, like, the fact that, and this has been an argument that has been going on since PS Plus and Xbox Live were incorporated, the fact that you have to pay to play these games online sucks. And the fact that them upping this up, forcing us to pay an additional $20, $30, $40 just so we can play our games online, just so the people who want to play Madden can play Madden against other people online, that's all this. A lot of people use this for. They are forcing an additional $20 fee onto people just to be able to play Madden against somebody else. That's fucked.
That does suck.
Although, real quick, technically, I actually don't think if all I was playing online on PS5 was Apex, I'm pretty sure I don't actually need PS Plus.
There are a couple of games that you can play online without PS Plus, and Apex might be one of them.
I think it's anything that's free to play that it doesn't require PS Plus.
Yeah, I don't know this. Apex is just the only game I can think of at the moment that I know you play online that I know is on PS5. Like Diablo 4 isn't on PS5; it's on PC. As far as I can.
No, it's on
definitely
PS5.
Also on PS5.
Is it on PS5? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
I didn't play it on
real
PS5.
good on PS5.
I have not paid. I have paid zero attention to that game. I just know it was released.
They've been releasing all of the Diablo games on PC, I think, since 3, right?
Well,
all the
3,
console, you mean? Yes.
Yeah.
3 was released on console like after it was released on PC.
Mm-hmm. True,
like,
but like at a certain point,
immediate.
At a certain point, it did get like to the point where they were the same releases.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It's if you're looking if you play less than 260, if you play less than 2 games, now it's at $80 a year. If you play less than however many games it costs, that you get Death's Door is a $10 game. If you play less than 6 games that are worth $10. Or
Isn't
now
Death's Door
8 games,
like a $25 game?
I don't know. I'm just giving a number at this point just to make my point because I don't really know how much games cost right now because I only buy them on sale or I have Game Pass. Like if you pay less than $80 worth of a game, to me you are wasting your money having this system. It's not worth it. It's not. Because I could drop PS Plus right now, and
I never play the games. I don't even download the games. I have had PS Plus for over a decade.
I honestly, personally think, I know you have it for the cloud saves. I think you're wasting your money having it.
I had a hard drive die. I had a hard drive die in one of my PlayStation.
So you can totally move all data onto an external hard drive.
Can you move game saves to externals too?
100%.
Right. I was reading a bunch of stuff earlier that seemed like you could not.
So you could totally go and back up weekly if you want, just personally back up weekly if you wanted to, and save yourself $80 a year.
You know what? I absolutely could, but like again, it's the convenience cost.
So you're gonna pay $80 a year for something that you could do for yourself for free.
Most likely, yeah, and it wouldn't be free. I'd have to go buy a hard drive.
You don't have one sitting around?
No. Why the fuck would I have a hard drive?
Because you're a tech dude.
So?
I just assumed all tech dudes had tech just sitting around. I have an external sitting around somewhere that I could probably give you.
I have no use for an external hard drive.
Like, it's old as fuck, but it would do its job of backing up your save.
But it wouldn't, because then it's not reliable.
Yeah.
But
it also might not be compatible.
But how often do you lose your save?
I've had it happen once. So, like, to me, that $80 is worth it, because the only games I play on PlayStation are long games. Mm-hmm. And I play them over the course of 2 years because I get bored and then I come back to them 2 years later and I don't restart them.
I think it's bonkers. Like, I think $80 is bonkers.
I mean, it's $6 a month.
Huh?
It's $6 a month.
Yeah, it's $6 a month. I thought $60 was bonkers to play.
No, and look, don't get me wrong. I don't think the price. So I think for the two other tiers, I think them raising those prices. Sure, because you get a lot more with those. Like, you get access to, like, those game libraries and the PS Now stuff and everything with those. That makes sense.
Aren't even that good.
Wait, say that again?
Those libraries, the last I remember, they don't really have a lot on there.
So you're thinking, I think you might be thinking of the initial PS5 one that, like, anyone with PS Plus got? The
PS Now stuff.
The PS Now stuff is mediocre at best.
No, it's gotten a fuckload of shit on it now.
Oh, dude, so I haven't looked to see what they had on it.
I mean, it's got games going all the way back to PS1. Like, that's how you get backwards compatibility, and they're adding to that.
Yeah, I knew they were constantly adding stuff, and I knew like the non-PS Now library stuff like tends to like change pretty frequently. Similar to Game Pass, and like that one, like okay, like charging more for that one, I can understand because you're giving away a lot more, or you're not giving away, but like those have more in the cost than the other ones. And at 165, because I think that was the highest one, right? It was 165?
I think so.
160 is the high one.
Yeah.
At 160, that's still cheaper than Game Pass Ultimate, which I know Game Pass Ultimate, you also get the PC Game Pass. But I think they got rid of the other Game Passes, actually. I think Ultimate and PC are the only ones you can get. I don't think you can just get Xbox Game Pass. So, like, that one, like, assuming the library is worthwhile, like those two, okay, like they're more in line with what you're paying on other platforms for like similar services. But like I agree with you, like they should really offer a $20 a year one just for backups. Because like I'm 100% in a minority where I don't want to play games online. I don't even give a fuck if my system can go online, other than to download a game or like a patch. If I could like disable like the option for online play in my games, I'd probably do it. But like, I want the backups. Just like Rich, like you said, I'm in tech. I am concerned with backups. Shit breaks and dies.
So Game Pass Ultimate is $17 a month.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that just went up too.
Console Game Pass is $11 a month.
Did they get rid of PC only? They're getting rid of one of the tiers of Game Pass.
PC only is $10 a month. I'm on the Game Pass website right now.
So they announced a few months ago that one of the Game Passes is going away. Like one of the tiers for it is leaving. I just don't remember which ones it was. All the changes. This was in July. Xbox Live Games for Gold is ending in September. And it's going to be replaced by Xbox Game Pass Core. Microsoft has revealed slightly altered Game Pass subscription offer. What changed? Foremost is being replaced with Core. As such, Games with Gold, Xbox games each month is now ending. Allow players to play online and include 25. All right, so this Core Game Pass will be online play and 25 select Xbox games that will expand semi-regularly. Core members won't be able to access the standard Game Pass titles.
Interesting.
And then...
okay. So that's going to be 10 versus the $11 a month.
Right. So okay, so
Game Pass.
So they're not getting rid of one of them then. It was just they were adjusting prices and adding this core one.
Right.
Or I guess changing games with Gold Xbox Live Gold to a Game Pass name essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the Ultimate definitely went up. I think it was either I guess $2 cuz I think it used to be $14.99.
That sounds right.
I feel like the PC may have gone up too. I feel like PC used to be $8.99, but it may have been $9.99.
As far as I remember, I've always paid $10 a month.
Okay, then I might just be misremembering that. I've never had just the PC one, so it wasn't one that I ever really looked at closely.
Mm-hmm. But that's as far as I remember. Like maybe I'm wrong, but like right now, subscription for Game Pass Ultimate is $17 a month, and that includes. When you have Game Pass Ultimate, that includes Gold.
Yeah, you get
or not Gold. That includes Live, Xbox Live.
Yeah, exactly. It includes Live and it includes PC Game Pass. So like the Game Pass $17 a month, while it is more expensive than the top tier PlayStation Plus, you get more with it if you have both an Xbox and a PC. And frankly, if you don't have both of them, why would you pay for that tier?
Exactly.
Like at that point. Pay for either the console or the PC or just the core version. But at the same time, like at that point, like if you're paying for the core one at $10, just pay for console at $11.
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay, so Kyle, you know what it is I think to be able to play online, aka Xbox Live, you have to have the Ultimate.
Oh yeah, you know what? I just noticed that. Yeah, the core
console doesn't, and PC, well, I mean, console and core don't have Xbox Live.
No, core does. So core is basically if you just want to play online with people. Console does not.
Okay.
So you're basically Ultimate, you're getting everything for less than the individual pieces, essentially.
Gotcha.
Like that is still overly fucking complicated. Like that is stupid. Like just charge an extra $1 for everything and make it so that all of them will do the online play. Like stupid Xbox. All these platforms are stupid. Sony's stupid, Nintendo's stupid, Microsoft's stupid.
It's all just it's capitalism. Capitalism has absolutely ruined every industry in this fucking world and in this fucking country, and it's absolutely insane. Like I'm sorry, there's no reason for them to increase this price. There's no reason. There's no way. Server costs have gotten...
No, it has nothing to do with server costs. They're all losing money on the games they're giving away, especially Xbox. Like, Xbox is 100% losing money. But Microsoft has the money that they were able to sustain for multiple years at, like, a significant deficit.
Well, then, obviously, these programs, they're money losers. Like, they're cost leaders. They're I can't remember the term that I'm trying to think
Loss leaders.
But, like... they're loss leaders. Like they're here so you get more people to buy your stuff, but they start with this and then you get everything else. But obviously they're not going to make money on it. It's a poor business model, but so many people have it and use it that the only way to really succeed with this is to make it more expensive, which probably going to end up losing people from having it. If Game Pass gets any more than $10, $11 a month, I'll probably stop it.
And honestly, like PC Game Pass might not change drastically. I could see it going up another $1 or $2 just because inflation. But like the Ultimate, I think, is the one that's always going to like trickle up until they hit that sweet spot. Because like in it, like analysts have been saying it since they announced Game Pass that like they are selling much like all of these vendors do with the hardware itself. They sell it at a considerable loss usually. Even when like we're looking at the price of like some of the hardware and being like it's $500, that's too much. Like their manufacturing cost is usually higher. Like they have no actual profit on that for the first like 2 years. Mm-hmm. And like I get it. Like with Xbox Live, they're giving away a whole bunch of stuff with that, and they're losing sales because of it. Because every first party game is just going on there. So people are signing up. They're giving them $15 for a month, playing the game, and then being done with it. Versus giving them $70 up front and then playing that game, and then the fuck does Microsoft care after that?
But that's. The thing about that service is, yes, they might be looking at it as, let's say, I'm just going to give a low number because it's easier to do the math with a low number. Let's say 1,000 people are on Game Pass, and they get an additional 500 people to join because Starfield in September. So they're now making $15,000 on Game Pass, because on Game Pass PC. We're just going to go Game Pass PC. They're making $15,000, but you know what? Let's say only 600 people who have Game Pass actually play Starfield. Well, they still made that additional 700 people worth of Game Pass money, but how many of those people who bought Game Pass are still going to stay on Game Pass in 5 months from now, but not play anything else?
Exactly, and also how many of the people that signed up for Game Pass to play Starfield that maybe just never got around to playing Starfield, maybe they downloaded it, never launched it, would have gone out and spent $70 on Starfield and installed it and never launched it.
But it's the passive income that they're making, though. They're making, say, for the next 5 months, somebody who played Starfield and that's it, and doesn't download or play anything else new on Game Pass. They're making that passive income. Like, they're making that $10 a month from that person. So yeah, they might not have made the $70 from them in September, but in 6 months from now, they just made $60, $70 from them.
Yeah, and I don't know that anyone has ever disclosed what sort of compensation they offer to studios and publishers that aren't first party. Mm-hmm. Like, they're definitely offering them enough to make that whole thing worthwhile. Because otherwise, even the smaller indie studios would absolutely not just be like, oh yeah, put our game on Game Pass for free for fucking breadcrumbs, because then they're literally not going to be able to sustain themselves to ever do another game.
Like, I'm sure there's a contract, and it might not even be... It might be a contract based on how long the game is on there.
Oh, they absolutely sell. Yeah. There was a game, Immortality, that came out last year that won some awards and stuff. It's like an FMV game. It's by the same studio that did Her Story a few years ago.
Okay.
I just saw them announce, and this is not they're not actually tied together, but that game is leaving Game Pass the same day that Starfield releases. Mm-hmm. So the creator of the game was just like, yep, you can only have one star, our game or Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
but it's what was it? What was that game called that I played this year that I hated the end of it?
Mega Man
Plague Tale. Plague Tale 2. Plague Tale 2. They took Plague Tale 1 off Game Pass 2 weeks before Plague Tale 2 came out.
Right, because they know that they'll be able to get sales that way.
They know people would actually, you know what, I need to play this game, let me buy the first one. And they'll make more money. And it's a good business model for these smaller companies, for these more indie developers. I think I don't really know what else the developers of Plague Tale have made.
I feel like that was a big studio, wasn't it? Or am I thinking of something else?
I don't know. I feel like they might not have made... They might be a bigger studio, but not super big.
They have 250 employees. Oh, wow. So it's Asobo is the studio. They did a lot of licensed games for a long time. They were doing a lot of the Pixar games.
Yeah, that's right. It was Pixar games and Microsoft Flight Simulator, The Crew. Yeah.
Yeah. But they've been around since 2002. And then Focus Home is the one who published it.
Mm-hmm. Which... I don't know, I just, like I said, I feel like I know it's only $6 a month, but I feel like an increase by $20 is just an increase at all for this service that... And again, I'm a smaller sample size. I am me and no one else. I don't use any of it as much as I would like $60 to be worth. I don't use the PS Plus games that often. I don't care about backing up my saves. If my hard drive dies, my hard drive dies. Whatever, who cares? Then I just need to replace my hard drive. It doesn't matter. If I lost all of my well, no, because that's on my PS4. So all of my saves from Monster Hunter, all my 300 hours played in Monster Hunter World, they're on my PS4. But also,
isn't that stuff backed up automatically because it's an online game?
I don't think. I don't know.
Oh, right, because that's not a cross save game. You had to actually start over when you played on
I had to start over when I played it on PC.
So when you have time,
go to play it on PC.
When you have time, doesn't have to be anytime soon. You should try downloading World onto your PS5. Do not let it download the save, and see if you just have access to your stuff just through launching the game.
I mean, I think I actually... I don't have it downloaded, but I might have access. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember. But
I'm curious if they keep that stuff local or if that is backed up somewhere because it is like it. Because that's an online only game, right? Like you can't play that offline.
No, you can play it offline.
I thought it was one of those games that always had to be connected. You just didn't have to play it with other people.
I mean, no, I don't think so.
Okay, I thought it was like I can't think of any examples right now, but like you weren't in like an online lobby, but like the game was just kind of perpetually online while you were playing it.
No, I mean I don't think so. It wouldn't make sense for them to have to do that. Because you have to create a lobby when you actually are trying to play with people.
Okay, I'd say I didn't know that. I never did that. So I am probably wrong then. You probably do need your save file for like your character data.
Yeah, which, you know what? If I lost 400 hours of Monster Hunter, that's fine. I wouldn't want to play my Monster Hunter save right now anyway because I'm at end game. There's no point really to play it.
That's fair. So like in a year, if I decide like, hey, I want to go back to Final Fantasy 16, if I turn on my PlayStation 5 and it died and I didn't have backups of my save, I would never play Final Fantasy 16 again because I do not want to play that first 10 hours that I fucking hated.
I get that. I get it, but...
And like, I don't replay games, like, other than like some like old school games. So like, I know you don't. I'm just saying like, I don't even like replaying a level if I die. I'm not going to restart a game if I played it in the last decade. Mm-hmm. So, like, to lose my save data is like, all right, well, I will play this game in 20 years if it pops into my head.
Yeah.
Bye. But, like, like you said, I'm a very, very small...
You're like, a sample size of you. Like, it would definitely have to be, like, a bigger sampling that we would have to do to figure out whether or not, like, this is worth it and what other people think. Like, we're just the three of us. And... like, for our personal uses of this service, I don't think, even just for the backup saves, I don't think $80. I really don't.
I mean, look, I do not like it as a cost, but at $6 a month, like, I have no trouble affording it, I guess is the thing. If it was a situation where it's like, I cannot comfortably afford this, then, like, yes, that'd be a different story. But it does not have an impact on like, me being able to, like, pay my bills and whatnot. So like, I mean, I'm not saying it does for you. I'm just saying like the way I'm looking at it is like, I can afford this once a year thing to make sure that I have backups. And like everyone, I will say like I always add the PlayStation Plus games to my library, and like every once in a while I look at them, I'm like, oh, you know what? Like I should play that. It's just I never do because something new comes out, and I'd rather play that.
Yeah.
Because like it's not like new games come out on PlayStation Plus, like,
and I'm
it's
pretty
old
sure
games.
Recently, and that's the other issue. New games don't come out on PS, whereas new games come out on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, exactly.
The other issue is I think they have, as of late, a few times re-released the same game on PS Plus than they did in the past.
Yeah, they've definitely had like games show up more than once, but like they never have more than one game a month. So like. The only argument I can even make in their benefit to that is not everybody has had PS Plus for as long as, like, say, the three of us have. Because I think we've all had it for probably about the same amount of time since, like, the PS3 era.
We've basically all had it since they created it. Like,
yeah. So, like...
I think I was a little after you guys, but for the most part, yeah, we've all had it since...
Yeah, so it's one of those, like, all right, like, I can understand occasionally, like, going back, especially if it's, like, a particularly popular, like, first-party game. Like, I think Ratchet & Clank, the 2016 one, might have gone up twice. Mm-hmm. But, like, that was a very good game. It was a very well-done game. Like, I can understand, like, why they'd pull a game from their own catalog and be like, hey, we're just going to throw this up here again, because we have subscribers that were not here 5 years ago when we did it, and we also don't have anything else to put up right now that's worthwhile.
I don't know. Maybe I am just a little jaded at this because, you know, Epic gives out a free game twice a month when you don't pay anything for it.
Do they ever give out really good games, though?
I mean, I don't think they're bad games. They're not necessarily really bad games or bad games in general. Like, my entire Epic library is... I don't think I've bought a single game on Epic. I mean, Guacamelee, I hear, is good. The Payday games.
Guacamelee is dope.
I did buy Ghost Hunt Midnight... Or no, I didn't buy Midnight Ghost Hunt. I bought that on PC. Or on Steam. Dying Light, the enhanced edition, that was free on there. Tunchi, which is something relatively new. Like I could keep going. Dishonored, I think that's the original Dishonored.
Mm-hmm.
Kerbal Space Program.
Okay, so I stopped looking at that stuff because they were either games that I own already when I had looked at it, or in a lot of cases they're just games that I have no interest in and I wasn't going to play them anyway.
Here you go. Death Stranding. I'm not going to say whether or not that's necessarily a good game, but Death Stranding was a free game on there.
Yeah, which that is a recent-ish game.
Yeah,
at least the PC version.
And that's I guess that's like my little bit of level of like Borderlands 3. I didn't even fucking realize Borderlands 3 was on the Epic store that I had I didn't even realize that. But that's more relatively new than Death's Door or Death Stranding.
Yeah, can we really judge anyone by Epic Games who they print their own money?
Still though, like,
and we all know as soon as if the Epic Game Launcher and storefront ever gained actual market traction where people were using it over Steam, those free games would go away.
Here you go, Drew. Control.
Yeah, Control was free on Epic Game Store like a year after it was free on PS Plus.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying though. Like you said, you played the fuck out of Control. I'm just saying the Control is on there.
Yeah,
like I'm just going through. Like it might
not
be
everybody
delayed.
had PS Plus. There are plenty of people that only have PCs that they may have gotten Control for free through the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, and it's just like and you're right, Cobb. It is possible that they might charge people if it ever gets big enough, but it's also, you're right, it is Epic. They print money with Fortnite. They print money with the freaking Unreal Engine. So, like, they really don't lose any. Darkest Dungeon, Drew. That's another game that was free on there. Mm-hmm. Inside. Like, there's a lot of good games on the Epic Store that have been free throughout its life. I have 155 games on here.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah, and I barely touch any of them because I forget that I have them, really.
So what I'm hearing is you're the problem.
What do you mean I'm the problem?
You're the reason all these services are going up in cost because you get these games and you don't play them.
No. I mean,
damn it, Richard.
I'm not. You're the reason this is going up because you get the service and don't use it. You use it
that's what they want.
Exactly, and they want it, and you're still willing to pay for it when it goes up higher.
I want backup.
Like I said, that you could probably buy a compatible hard drive next year for $80.
Do you know nothing about backups?
For $80.
Like you do not back your stuff up into the same location. You need geo-redundant backups. This guy.
Are you saying that you just really want cloud backup, cloud saves?
I mean, yeah, more or less. Like I also do not want the hassle of having a hard drive plugged into things and having to like manually do that stuff.
So you want to pay $80 just for convenience?
Yeah, I said that earlier. It's a convenience fee. I am willing to pay convenience fees. I don't like it, but I'm willing to do it.
I don't think $80 is worth the convenience.
It's the same reason why I'll never carry my PC downstairs and plug it into my TV. It is too much of a hassle.
Also, real quick for the record, Death Stranding came out after Borderlands 3.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, Borderlands 3 is relatively new.
But
I
think
that was
Richie. You said Borderlands was newer. It's not. Borderlands came out before Death Stranding by like 2 months.
I mean,
I heard that backwards when you said that. I thought you meant that that Borderlands came out after Death Stranding. I'm just like,
no.
What? Oh yeah, wow, they were both 2019 games. Huh. In my head, like Borderlands 3 is much older.
I
thought it was older, honestly.
They all feel like yesterday because it came out just before the pandemic.
I mean, also like Borderlands because the humor is that of a 12-year-old. Like it just feels like it came out in 1994.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've been talking about this for a long time though. Do you guys want to talk about some music for a little bit?
Sure. Let's talk about some music.
All right, Rich, you picked our albums for book club.
Yes, I picked my favorite album of all time just because I love Yellowcard. And I picked Prepare the Preparations from Ludo just because I wanted to pick something new that you guys haven't really. Yeah, I very much enjoyed both of these. There are some songs on both of them that I'm just like not really into, but for the most part, at least for Ocean Avenue, I can't think of a song I don't want to listen to again. Like,
Yeah.
I would listen to that album over and over nonstop and be happy. And I kind of did throughout this past 2 weeks. I listened to that more than I listened to.
That's fair. I listened to Ludo more only because like I've heard Ocean Avenue. Like I heard it recently too, so it was one of those like I'm gonna listen to it a couple times just as like a refresher. But like I had never listened to Ludo before, so like I listened to that album probably like 3 or 4 times over the last like 2 days.
Yeah.
Drew, what did you think of Ludo?
I struggled to get through the back half of that album. I
Same.
thought that tailed off real hard. The first couple songs I was into, then it hit like the third song, and I was like, ugh. And then the March of the Skeletons, I think it was, or
Skeletons on Parade.
That song sucked. And I almost skipped it, like, after halfway. But I was like, you know what, fine. 90 seconds.
No. There's definitely more songs. There were a few songs on Ludo's album that I was just like, all right, I don't really care or want to listen to this one again. Like, I thought the third song, Whipped Cream, I thought that song's great. I thought that was a bop.
Oh, that was one of my least liked songs. I really like Too Tired to Wink though.
Too Tired to Wink is a good one. Honestly, my two like really favorite on this album are Anything for You and All the Stars in Texas.
All the Stars in Texas was also my favorite. I was like, okay, that song was actually good.
I did like that one too. I liked Too Tired to Wink was my favorite one on the album. It had like a weird. It was like Bayside meets My Chemical Romance meets Motion City Soundtrack. Mm-hmm. Like it kind of layered all of them in a weird way, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also didn't like that Whipped Cream song or the Skeletons on Parade. I did not like I'll Never Be Lonely Again either.
No, like that stretch from Whipped Cream to All the Stars in Texas, like bad at best.
Yeah, that stylistically, like kind of like you were saying when we did Stand Atlantic. Like you really liked Doomsday, the first track off the album, and then like as you went, like you kind of liked the songs like less and less with each new track.
Yeah.
That was very much like my experience with this one. It's like, oh, it's like, is this what these guys sound like? Because like I'm really into this. And then like Cyborgs versus Robots, like not as good, but like it was still like I'm like, okay, like I don't like the robotic auto-tuny stuff they did with the vocals, but like musically it was a fun song. Mm-hmm. And then like Whipped Cream hit, I'm like, I just don't like this one. And then like like Drew, like you said, like there's that stretch up to All the Stars in Texas where it's like they were either forgettable or just not good at all. But then like All the Stars in Texas was actually pretty good.
It hurts me that you guys don't like Anything for You. I love that song. I think it's such a good song.
It reminded me of something, and I just could not think of what.
I don't know what it would remind you of.
Like I had grabbed a piece of paper and just wanted to write down best and worst song, and originally I had written in Anything for You, and then Skeletons on Parade came up, and I was like, okay, never mind. That song's way worse.
Yeah, like I didn't hate Anything for You. Like I legitimately disliked Skeletons on Parade and the Skeletons Lullaby. The two Skeleton songs I really didn't like. Same thing. I legitimately disliked the I'll Never Be Lonely. I didn't dislike Anything for You. It was just one of those songs where it's like, I would not go back and listen to this one. Whereas like I liked the first 2 tracks. Like I hearted them. Mm-hmm. And same thing with All the Stars in Texas. Like I'm like, I will listen to these songs again.
There have been times where I would put Anything for You. Like I don't know what it is. I really really like that song. It just clicks with me, and I love to sing along, and it's very much a very good sing along song.
A lot of their songs had like a kind of like stage musical show tuney vibe to them. And like also like some of them reminded me of the songs I've heard from like A Nightmare Before Christmas, and like I don't like those songs. So like a lot of these songs did not click with me, I think, because of that reason. Like, and I know like I am very much minority on that. Having like I didn't grow up watching Nightmare Before Christmas, so like that whole aesthetic just does not vibe with me at all. But like I was interested enough in the way that like some of these songs sounded that I do want to go back and listen to some of their other albums, just to see what those sound like. I purposely didn't for this because I didn't want to be like, okay, well I didn't like this record, but I did like the one before it. I kind of wanted to have just this one done to talk about.
Yeah. I there's probably, I don't remember as much of this album. I probably listened to it less than I did Yellowcard. I don't know why. I did a lot of driving, or and you know what it was? I was stuck at the dealership, or not at the dealership, at the mechanic for a while, waiting for my car and shit, that I just sat there and listened to Yellowcard while I was playing Mario Kart on my Switch. And then, like, anytime I was driving around, Yellowcard was on. And then, because I didn't work today, I didn't actually... Normally, the day of, if there's a one of the albums I didn't listen to as much or don't remember as much, I would listen to just that album. Like, nothing else would be playing after I get done my morning shows, would just be that album. And so that was what today was supposed to be Ludo. And, like, a lot of the album is not memorable to me. Like, I can't think of many of them right now, and I'm sure if I listen to them again, I'd be like, all right, yeah, maybe yes or no. But I do agree, like, the latter half, like the later songs beyond, like from Skeletons on Parade on, are probably less memorable, with the exception of All the Stars in Texas. That song is just like, I don't know, it's just so good.
Yeah, I don't know why, but like I did like the song Battle Cry, even though it still had some of that weird, like, stage musical vibe to it. Something about that one, like, it was just a little more catchy, I guess, to me. Mm-hmm. Was not as good as, like, as the other ones that I liked a lot, but, like, was still, like, another one kind of, like, mixed in there where it's like, if this one came on, I would not be upset at it for coming on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, I would be angry if somebody made me listen to Skeletons on Parade again.
Yeah, I get it. I think Skeletons on Parade is one of the songs that I really didn't pay a lot of attention to. I mean, like, if we're gonna look at the most listened to on YouTube, it's mostly the previous, You're Awful, I Love You. It's mostly for the top, was it 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, top 10 songs, 4, 5, 6, 6 of them are that. Then it's Anything for You, Whipped Cream, and Skeletons on Parade from this album, and then Hey Friends from their most recent.
So on Spotify, their top 10 are all from You're Awful, I Love You, except for number 3 is Anything for You. I was going to make a joke initially saying that it had 5 million listens and probably all of them were you, but you don't use Spotify.
I don't use Spotify.
And then Scare Me and Hey Friends are 6 and 9 from 2 different albums. And the only other one off of this one is number 7 is Whipped Cream. But yeah, the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the other 6 tracks are all off of You're Awful, I Love You.
Yeah, and You're Awful, I Love You is a great album. Lake Pontchartrain, I love that song. Drunken Lament, I believe, is a pretty good one too. For some reason, I don't have any songs liked on here on a showing. Maybe it's because I'm on the... No. I know I liked Lake Pontchartrain. I don't know why none of these are showing liked on here. So,
but yeah, like, I am almost certainly going to go back and, like, check out some of their other music. Even if I just check out some of, like, the other popular songs just to get, like, a feel for, like... Because they're all over the place musically. Like...
Yeah.
Like, and, like, that's not like a shot against them. Like, it's just, you can't listen to just one song and know what they sound like.
I think that's one reason why I do like them, is every song is different. Like if we're looking at just this album, every different song felt like its own thing. Like,
I don't know, man. Like 90% of them just felt bad.
Yeah, that's... it's commendable that they try. Maybe they shouldn't sometimes, though.
But, like Manta Rays didn't sound anything like Skeletons on Parade, which didn't like anything.
True.
Like, I'll never.
That's
be
very true.
Again, like that's what I mean. Like, you might not have liked them, but like every song, or at least every different song, like maybe some songs sounded similar later on, but like each song after the next did not sound like the prior song.
Yeah,
and that's probably part of why I like them, is like every song does sound different enough that it is refreshing.
I mean, yes, but again, like, some of those choices were just bad, and they should have been told otherwise. Don't do Skeletons on Parade. It's bad. Think again.
Dude, can you imagine if like we looked at like their top songs and Skeletons on Parade was like their number one? And we're all just like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean that's again, like, that's to like Richie's point at one point, is art's subjective.
True.
People can have wrong opinions.
Like the highly subjective. The highly subjective nature of music. You guys might think it's bad, it's not bad. You just don't like it. Like that's
yeah, exactly.
It's not bad. You just don't like it.
Let's be real. Skeletons on Parade is bad.
I mean, is it?
Don't
though?
defend it. Yes, no.
It's one of the higher listened songs, isn't it? Wasn't it?
No. I was joking that it would be funny if that was like the number one song.
It was number 9 of 10 on Google.
Oh yeah, but no one uses fucking Google.
I mean, I do. But like it's the, like I've said in the past, subjective nature of music. It's not bad. You just don't like it.
I mean,
I think
everything is subjective. Like really.
Yes, but I think at least when it comes to music, there's a lot more subjectivity to it. To where, like, it's in my opinion, it's hard to find. I might not like it, but it's not bad. I just don't like. It's not my sound. It's not for me. It's not what I like. I'm not going to say that it's bad. I didn't think Trainwreck was bad. I just didn't
you did.
Like
you flat out said that. You said this is garbage.
No, I didn't like it. I thought his voice was horrible, and that's why I didn't like it.
To that point, I hated this singer's voice. That was the one other note I made, was I do not like this singer's voice.
I liked it on some tracks. It reminded me a little bit of Bayside. Mm-hmm. Not as raspy as they are, but like certain songs it had like a similar vibe, and I really liked it. And other songs, like it just didn't click the same way. Like Whipped Cream in particular, I didn't like the way that like the vocals sounded.
Like I feel like it was that kind of. At first, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, it sounds, and then as each song came on, it's like, oh no, okay, nope, definitely hate this singer's voice. It just grated on me after.
Look, Drew, we get it. You only like Midwest emo and ska. We get it.
I mean, I also like post-hardcore.
I mean, post-hardcore and Midwest emo, like they're just a little more screaming in one than the other.
I mean, that's fair.
But how about Yellowcard? Rich, I know you mentioned already that it was one of your all-time favorites. Drew, like, how do you feel about Ocean Avenue? The album, not the song.
Overall, it's really good. Like I said, I was trying to make notes of like favorite, least favorite song, and I had a hard time picking a least favorite song for Ocean Avenue. Like, it's pretty solid beginning to end. Yeah,
I like the first 3, maybe 4 songs, like enough that like I have them liked, and like they will pop up on playlists when I'm just playing like a shuffle of liked songs. But like I've never been the biggest Yellowcard fan. I do think like this is a very solid album. Like like I don't think that there is a bad song on this album. I just don't think that like Rich, exactly like you were saying, like I personally do not like them. And Rich, if you ever go to see them, I'm going to pick on you for going to see them. Cause
I mean, I saw them on their farewell tour, and they're no longer farewell anymore. So
yeah, no, I saw them on their reunion tour. So
yeah.
But like,
and that's like that was the thing. Like when I went and saw them on their farewell tour, and it wasn't any of you guys. It was my brother's.
Oh no, I definitely gave you a hard time, but like I was joking about it because like I don't really care.
You gave me a hard time about everything I listened to, even though you also listened. You gave me a hard time about listening to Rise Against once.
Yeah.
And you also listened to Rise Against.
Yeah, but you only listened to the single.
No, I had like the whole album that I listened to.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just pulled up and the single happened to had been on. No, not even. I was in still my old busted ass car that that didn't remember what song it was on whenever I turned it off. So it always started with the first song. And so probably when I rolled up, it just happened to be on the single because it was just started from the beginning.
Likely excuse.
Yeah.
Likely excuse. But yeah, like I actually don't really like Yellowcard's newer stuff all that much. Like, especially having heard it from like the concert and all, like it's a little more like it's like pop rocky in a way that like I don't dislike pop rock, but like none of that stuff was really clicking. Whereas like going back and listening to this album, it's like, yeah, no, like this really did set the tone for a sound in the early mid 2000s. Like Yellowcard, Story of the Year, and like 4 or 5 other bands. Like you can kind of look at like 2002 to 2005 and be like, yep, nope, they are one of the people that like really started this sound. And like that's not a bad thing because like while they're not my favorite, like I like a lot of those other bands. Like I went to see Yellowcard mostly to see Story of the Year. And, like, they were just one of the openers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's good. Drew, what is your favorite song on the album?
Way Away, probably.
Rich?
That's a hard one.
If you say Ocean Avenue, you're fired.
No. It would... Honestly, it's probably View from Heaven. I love that song. I don't know what it is. I just absolutely love that song. I love the girl's voice on it, singing alongside him and everything else. It's such a good song. But Believe holds a close place in my heart because that is the song they opened up their farewell tour with. And so anytime I listen to that set list, that song plays first. And I just... that song is so good. Honestly, I think my favorite song from them entirely isn't even on this album. It's Lights and Sound from the next album.
Which, that is actually one of the songs that, like... I'm sort of... Like, that one, I'm weird with. Like, I don't think it's a bad song. And, like, sometimes, like, I hear it, I'm like, I really like this song. And other times I hear it, I'm like, I don't know. No, this isn't the sound I want right now.
For Lights and Sounds, it's the intro that really gets me. It's a and then with the drums. It's just like how it intros and opens up just really gets me going when I hear that song. And so like when I went and saw them for their farewell tour, they opened up with Believe, and then they went into Lights and Sound, and then they went into Way Away. And it was just like, holy shit, this is like 3 fantastic songs back to back to back. It's so good. But like I like View from Heaven so much that in that set, they didn't play that at that show, but I added that song to the set list because I love that much.
Well, that's a nice little story. Yeah. I will say, like, probably my favorite song on the album is also Way Away, though I like Empty Apartment. I don't know why, I just like that song. It's catchy.
Honestly, that's maybe one of the songs that I do like maybe listen to least is Empty Apartment.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, because it's very slow, but
yeah.
I just think it's catchy. But, like, Way Away is one of the few songs where, like I mostly just have the singles liked, but, like, I will regularly skip over Breathing and Ocean Avenue, but, like, if a Way Away comes on, I will listen to it.
Breathing, such a good song.
I mean, it's a good, catchy song, but, like, I've just heard Breathing and Ocean Avenue so many times that I just don't want to anymore in a lot of cases. And, like, it's funny because there are other bands that, like I will listen to, like, My Friends Over You on repeat if I had to. Like, that's not going to bother me. And I've probably heard that one way more than any of the Yellowcard songs. But yeah, like, it's a solid album.
Yeah,
I love it.
And you know what? Like, I'll give them credit too. Like, they do put on a very good live show. They are a fun band to see live.
I will, from time to time, depending on how I'm feeling, and honestly, might do this tomorrow during work. I will go onto YouTube and find their live at the Electric Factory. It was originally aired on like one of the MTVs. They did a live show at the Electric Factory. And at one point, I can't remember what song. Might be Way Away. Might be something else. They do a Wall of Death. Fucking Yellowcard does a Wall of Death at a live show. And it's one thing I always remember. So occasionally from time to time, like once a year, once every couple of years, I will be like, you know what? I want to watch that. And I will put that on. You can only find it on YouTube right now, unless you owned it. Find it now.
Oh, what the fuck?
What?
So, I was just looking at, like, my, like, concert playlist from this year. I added everything from, when we saw Jimmy Eat World on Saturday. But it didn't actually, it only added the Jimmy Eat World stuff. It didn't add, Manchester Orchestra or, the Middle Kids.
That's weird.
That's annoying. Well, I'm going to remove them and re-add them. You bunch of assholes.
What's your playlist time up to?
Hang on a second. That's actually why I was going to look at it.
It's called Beyond Ocean Avenue. It's actually a DVD that you can buy, but you can actually just watch it on YouTube.
That's kind of cool.
People just have it uploaded on YouTube.
Nice.
So yeah, and let's see if I can find the Wall of Death.
So I did do. And Drew, you're probably at least a little ahead of me on this. I have 824 songs and 46 hours and 53 minutes right now.
I'm at 51 hours, 54 minutes, and almost 1,000 songs. I think it's 972.
Okay. Yeah, I did. So earlier, when I thought that all of the songs that I dragged over were added, I was like just under 800. I was at like 796. And I looked at like how many concerts that like I have tickets for through the end of the year still. And I did like the quick math, and I only have to hear 18 songs per concert to hit 1,000.
I mean, I've definitely heard 1,000 songs this year.
Right,
But
'cause you don't
yeah.
add repeats, right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, Catbite, entire second set, not on there. I just saw Fall Out Boy for a second time, only added one song of 20 they played on Saturday.
Yeah, like I think I have a couple duplicates just as like mistakes, but for the most part, I'm not adding duplicates either. And I don't think I'm seeing anybody for a second time. I don't think I
I'll
might
be
be.
seeing Hot Mulligan for a third in November.
Let me see. Let me see.
And I'll be seeing Scene Queen for a second time this year.
Didn't see Bowling for Soup this year. I mean, technically, I guess Hawthorne Heights, depending on like what all they play. I'm sure they will play some of their hits, so that means that like I won't have everything from that one. That one's gonna be a weird one because they're playing covers too.
I only include covers if the artist has released the cover. Like, I don't just go add whatever.
Well, exactly.
other
Like, I'm not
bands
gonna
are
like I'm not gonna add like the original version of a song. So like
Right.
that one's gonna be a weird one because it's like I can only add the Hawthorne Heights songs really
Mhm.
that they didn't play back in the spring. Oh, same thing. First and Forever, Arm's Length, and Daisy Grenade. I'll be seeing all of them for a second time this year. And like odds are they won't play much different. Actually, Drew, are you familiar with Emarosa or The Dangerous Summer?
Emarosa, yes. I know one of their songs, honestly. Like, I saw that they're playing, and I'm like, fuck. I really like their one song I know, and I'm like, I would go see them.
What band did you get to Magnolia Park for?
Oh, shit. I don't... The second band, I think.
The one with like the two guys that were like
Yes. Yeah.
you'd probably actually like First and Forever. They were like the first opener. They're fun.
Okay.
Their songs are super catchy. It's just like it's a guitarist, a drummer, and a singer.
Okay.
The singer is actually during Magnolia Park because Magnolia Park in their set they had like the singers from all three bands come out for like a song.
Mhm.
First and Forever is the one who he then jumped into the crowd and was in the pit singing.
Oh, okay.
They are the opening band for that Emarosa concert, but I did get tickets for that, and I'm not sure if I was going to stay for the whole thing because I had never listened to Emarosa or The Dangerous Summer. They were super cheap, and I just wanted to see First and Forever.
I mean, I would say look up Cautious by Emarosa. That's the one
Okay.
song. Like, it was in my whatever weekly suggested songs from Spotify, and I was like, oh shit, this slaps. This is fucking good.
Nice. I guess while we're talking about this stuff, and Rich, did you find the Wall of Death scene?
No, I gave up after skimming through it real quick.
Well, Drew, are you going to Armor for Sleep in October? It's Armor for Sleep in the early November.
I don't have a ticket for it right now, but maybe.
You might want to check because apparently they were selling out.
If it sells out, that's okay.
Yeah. Are you going to go see Boys
Wait.
Like Girls and State Champs?
I don't have a ticket for that. When is the Armor for Sleep? I feel like I have a con.
October 20th?
Oh, never mind. Oh, wait. Well, yes, I might have a conflict. Because, so I go to Louisville for work on October 22nd, and Cliff Diver is playing Philly on October 22nd, so I can't go to the Philly show, but they're also playing Asbury Park again on the 20th, so...
So you might go
I
up
don't
there.
know. Yeah.
And you said you don't have tickets, you said, for Boys Like Girls and State Champs?
No.
How about Real Friends and Knuckle Puck in December?
No.
And then you don't like the Maine, do you?
I know a few of their songs.
Okay, for some reason I thought you said you didn't really care for them.
We didn't stay to Sad Summer for them, but...
True. They were very good live.
Okay.
Like, we basically got tickets for them in December because of how good they were live.
Good to know.
Similar to Manchester Orchestra. I had never listened to them before, and frankly, like, their recorded stuff is fine, but, like, their, like, live performance is fucking fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah. But-
So right now what I have left is I did grab a ticket for that Senses Fail show, so I'll
Okay.
go into that. Just Friends on September 22nd, Matt and Kim, Kenny Hoopla, Hot Mulligan and Spanish Love Songs, and Scene Queen just went on sale today in Sarah.
Yeah. We were thinking about going for Just Friends, but it's for one of the openers.
I don't remember who's opening that show. Just
I don't
Friends are fucking dope, though. You should fucking stay for Just Friends.
So it's funny. I I guess Erica had like one of those Spotify like here's a bunch of songs you might like lists. And whoever's opening for them came up on there, and she really liked them. And like I listened to a few of their songs, and they were good. Like I liked them too. But then she saw, because Spotify does that, like, hey, this band's on tour right now. She saw that they were on tour and saw Just Friends and listened to them. She's like, I don't like them.
Really?
Yeah, she did not like Just Friends.
They're so fun, though.
I've only listened to a couple of their songs. They're not bad. Rich, you might like Just Friends, actually.
I don't know. I think we're just friends.
I mean, you wouldn't like Real Friends because they're definitely way too emo.
What about Fake Doctors, Real?
I mean, it's a podcast, so I feel like that just hits a little different.
I do like that.
I mean,
Although
like,
their current iteration's kind of boring. I do like that.
Bearings is the band that's opening.
Okay.
Erica really liked Bearings, and we were kind of like, do we want to go to this one? And it's like, we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 or 6 other concerts in September.
Damn.
Yeah, because we have Bowling for Soup, and then Baby Metal and Deathlock, and then Senses Fail, and then All Time Low, and then Matt and Kim.
Fuck All Time, but...
I like All Time Low.
Am I confusing?
I'm surprised you don't like All Time Low, Drew.
I mean, I could be confusing things. I want to say their lead singer has hardcore allegations.
Really?
Do.
I'm looking right now. I mean, like, usually that stuff is on Wikipedia pretty quickly, and there's nothing on there about him.
Is Gym Class Heroes on that tour?
They are.
Then yes, it is All Time Low that has
the guitarist. Last year, the guitarist had allegations surfaced about interactions with fans who are underage. Other than that, I can't really find anything.
Yeah,
I'm not dismissing it. I'm just saying.
Well, so Scene Queen's song 18 Plus is legit about. I actually believe her being one of the people that when she was underage, All Time Low's guitarist tried to get onto their fucking tour bus.
Yeah, so I mean that is shitty. But I wonder, like, is the guitarist still with them? Yeah.
The band sued 3 anonymous accounts for libel in February 2022, claiming they were victims of defamatory social media posts, falsely and maliciously accusing them of sexual abuse and knowingly enabling such illegal conduct. In early October, a TikTok video surfaced accused an unnamed pop-punk band of inviting 13-year-old onto the tour bus, claiming in the comments section that they tried to take off my bra, with additional indications that it was All Time Low. Twitter thread was later released anonymously detailing allegations against Jack Barakat. The band released a statement calling these allegations completely and utterly false and said they would pursue legal action. Meet Me at the Altar and Nothing Nowhere dropped out of the band's autumn tour and announced dates for the shows, but nothing has come from the allegations. They sued people for saying that this stuff, like, it was false.
Which unfortunately doesn't really mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything, but there's nothing come from these allegations. So, who knows? Do what you want to do. Listen to the bands you want to listen to.
Yeah, I hadn't seen or heard any of that, and usually that stuff gets, like, enough traction. Like, I mean, look at, like, the, Anti-Flag stuff that just happened.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff stuff hit quick and fast.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, either way, that is a bummer.
But Gym Class Heroes is fucking dope. I'm tempted to go see Gym Class Heroes and leave.
Yeah, like I am actually looking forward to seeing Gym Class Heroes. But I guess, do you guys want to try and figure out what the fuck we're doing next?
Sure. What are we doing next?
So, do you guys want to try and fucking read Jurassic Park?
I mean, I'm fine with that. I own it, so
like,
I don't care.
Drew, I have a actual real copy of Jurassic Park that I'm not going to read. Like, I can lend it to you, so you don't have to buy anything if you'd be, like, up to try it.
I mean, it's less to that it's reading, it's that fucking Jurassic Park. I mean, we did the movie to do the book.
I've heard the book is very different.
I mean, but that's also the thing. That's the point of the experiment or the conversation that we can have now is what are the differences, what are the similarities, which one do you think was better or worse? Do you feel like you need to watch? Like, we're not going to be talking about Jurassic Park the movie, but we're going to be talking about the book and discussing whether or not this book is worth reading if you already know Jurassic Park the movies. But the like,
that's fair.
From what I've read, and I think I've had conversation with Cobb about, like, the second one like The Lost World, wasn't written till after the movie because like
No, it was written before the movie, but it was written specifically for the movie. Like Michael Crichton was actually like pushed to write that by his publisher. He had no intention of writing a follow-up to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so the first one might be different. Might be different enough to where it is worth reading, but it's also like there's always you know this in everything that you can read. There's always more to the book than there is in the movie. You only have 2 hours to fit into the movie, where you have 1,000 pages and you can expand on things more. Like, yes, I get that we already I get that we already watched it, but it's an experiment.
Yeah, and I did look. It's about 400 pages. And I was thinking, like, rather than trying to do it all, like, obviously, like, we would not try and do it all in 2 weeks.
No, give it a month.
Well, I was going to say, like, we could probably, like, to make it a little more conversational, similar to, like, what an actual book club would do, we could break it in and, like, every 2 weeks, like, decide on how much, like, as a group we think we can read, and, like, do, like, mini discussions instead of one big one.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If I start this book, it'll be done within a week.
You think so?
Yes. If I start... Cobb, I can't play a video game once a year and still stick with it.
Okay, that's fair. You'll forget everything in a week.
Yeah. And I'm not saying we have to finish this in 2 weeks, but I personally think reading a 400-page book in a month is more than reasonable. That we can discuss this in 2 weeks, the midpoint, and then we can discuss it again in 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, which is more or less what I was thinking. I was going to offer up a longer timeline depending on, like, if you guys were both into the idea and, like, how quickly you felt like you could read through it. Like, Drew, I know, like, you're not a reader just like Richie isn't.
Oh,
so I don't know,
I mean, when I do read, if I like it, I can hammer through shit. It's just, I don't like fiction. Like, I'm coming stronger and stronger to realize I don't like fiction.
Yeah, you don't like scripted shit. You don't like fake
I don't like fiction. Like,
yeah.
Well, look, how about we do this? I'm going to throw this out there as a wild fucking idea. We do a fiction book, and then we do a fucking nonfiction book. Would you be up for a nonfiction book, Drew?
I mean,
because I can find us a fucking cool ass nonfiction book. I guarantee it.
Yeah, there's lots of nonfiction books.
No, but like I can find one that's like actually legitimately good. Like in the last year I've read a whole bunch of like shipwreck books that are fucking fascinating.
Okay, Dad.
Dude, I read one back in the spring called The Wager. So it true like nonfiction, like true story. In this, I want to say it was the 1700s. This ship sailed out from England. It was an English Navy vessel. They were supposed to sail to like South America and around like the southernmost tip and come up the west. Everyone on this ship was basically fucking incompetent. And everything that could go wrong did go wrong, to the point where they crashed off the coast of like a small island down there, and they found like the only island in that area that had nothing. There was nothing on that island that you could use to survive. There were no animals. There weren't really edible plants. Like, it was just, it was like the quintessential desert island, only with none of the stuff that like Gilligan had. And then by the time like there was like multiple mutinies, at one point like some like natives from South America found them and tried to help them. And then a like splinter group tried to kill the natives for no good fucking reason. And the natives just like left and didn't come back. And then over the course of like a year, some of them finally got back to England, and they all just started pointing fingers at each other, like claiming that like one group did something to the other group, and like it went into like trial. It was hilarious. Also terrifying, but hilarious.
You know what's funny? I think they talked about that in a series on Last Podcast on the Left. They
may have it. I mean, that book in particular was like super popular like earlier this year. Like, it was one of those, like, New York Times bestsellers for that category and everything like that. But yeah, like, I can probably find, like, a cool sports nonfiction book, to be honest.
Sure, there's plenty.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I'd be willing to do that if you guys were interested in it.
Whatever y'all want to do.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All
content. Right. It's for the content.
All right. We'll do Jurassic Park. Drew, do you want to borrow my physical copy of Jurassic Park?
I will fucking not read a digital thing, so yes.
Cool. Well, I assumed you didn't want to read digital, but I was throwing it out there just in case. So yeah, I'll totally let you borrow that. And it's, honestly, I've never read it. So like it's still in like brand new condition. But I'll grab a copy of it from the library, like a digital copy from the library. So that's not a big deal. So cool. All right, we'll do Jurassic Park. So over the next 2 sets of book clubs, so in 2 weeks and then 2 weeks after that, we'll talk about like the first half and the second half, I guess, of it. And then Drew, if you feel like it, send me like some like non-fiction stuff that like you think you'd be into, and I'll find like a couple interesting options, and we'll pick one.
Sure.
This way, everyone gets like at least something that they don't hate. Because I think even like they haven't like, and we don't have to do this because I don't know if they'd actually be good, but like a bunch of wrestlers have written like memoirs and stuff. Like, didn't Mick Foley write like a couple?
Oh yeah, Jericho has 2 books. I have one of Jericho's books.
What about that wrestler just passed away?
I don't think Bray wrote, or well, 2 died last week. One shockingly, one not so shockingly. Terry Funk was almost 80. He might have a book. I don't know. Bray Wyatt was 36. I don't think he ever wrote a book or anything.
And I did not know Terry Funk died. That's a shame. I remember him from the 90s.
Yeah, he died on Wednesday, and then
was he still wrestling?
I don't think so. He'd been in relatively poor health for a while, but he also retired like 25 years ago, but then like kept having retirement matches for like another 20 years.
I mean, that sounds about right. But like, while I don't like the actual like entertainment value of wrestling, which is fiction, so like you like one fictional thing, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I imagine like the memoirs and stuff that these guys write are probably fucking fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I'd argue he doesn't like it because that's the aspect he used to complain the most about when he complained about wrestling. Was that
true.
Shit?
It's generally the worst part of wrestling.
So
but like,
he doesn't.
But like but he's not complaining about it. Like he doesn't complain about that the way like he does about like a movie. Like when he doesn't like a movie, it's just like this movie sucks. But like when he complained about like the storylines on wrestling, it was like, here's all the reasons this sucks and it's not as good as the things they used to do. Mm-hmm. Which like to me screams like you like it, you just don't like what they're doing.
Sure.
Or at least you like what they used to do. Maybe that's a better way to put it.
Yeah. Or, you know, what they used to do like was cooler when I was 13.
I mean, look, man, throwing a dude on thumbtacks is cool when you're 13 or 30. It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, that part's always fucking cool. It's the parts, the story parts that fucking get cringe.
Like, like legitimately, are they still like as bad as they used to be?
No, not nearly.
Because some of the wrestlers like you see go on, like John Cena, super fucking funny, like great in comedies. Mm-hmm. Like Ken Axe, same thing like Batista and The Rock. Like, I mean, The Rock not like. I like The Rock's movies, but they're like totally just like stupid action movies.
Right.
But like Batista and like Cena, like they're legitimately fun to watch in movies. Mm-hmm. So like some of these wrestlers can absolutely act, but like I don't remember them ever actually having like the material to like really show that off.
Generally, no, and generally that's why it was bad. Like the most wrestling stories are shit. There have been some really good ones recently, and in the past they were relatively good. But like most of it, especially from like 2010 to like the pandemic, were awful and full of plot holes and just dumb and bad.
Did it get better for that like 6 months where McMahon wasn't able to do anything because of all the allegations?
A little bit.
That's funny. That's really funny. Like, just goes to show that dude doesn't know what the fuck he's doing anymore.
Yeah,
or maybe never actually knew what he was doing.
He's a senile old man now.
Yeah, isn't he like in his 80s?
He's around there for sure.
Like, I mean, talk about old people dying. Fucking Bob Barker, right?
Got as close to 100 without going over as he could.
God, that joke is so good. It's so bad, but it's so good.
I have not heard anyone say that yet.
I saw it the day of, and then I saw one that was a tweet of that joke, and then someone in the replies was like, yeah, but Betty White would have won the Showcase Showdown because Betty White died like 17 days before she would have turned 100.
Yeah. She is closer.
Man, that's that is sad, but it's very funny.
Yes.
Man.
That This will sound bad. Is it sad that he was 100 years old and he died?
I mean, yes, but
He was only 99. What the fuck?
Like, I get being sad about it, but, like, he was 99 years old. Like,
he had a long life. Like, he probably, like, was not totally, like, able to, like, do anything anymore.
Yeah.
But, like, it is just sad that, like, it's sad when somebody dies. Like, at least it was of old age and not of, like, disease or accident or trauma or something like that.
Yeah, I'll put it, it was sad, but not tragic.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Whereas, like that one wrestler was tragic.
Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. Like, Terry Funk, sad he died, but he'd been in poor health for a couple of years. Bray Wyatt was like, oh, he's about to come back to wrestle. They have plans for him to be coming back in like 2 weeks. Oh, dead. Like, what the fuck?
Like, have they released what caused it or anything?
He had a heart attack because he had a pre-existing heart condition, got COVID in the beginning of the year, was getting better, but then had a heart attack.
Oh, and COVID does fuck with people's hearts because of the respiratory issues.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
So,
yeah, I had seen his stuff all over, like, Facebook and, like, popping up in, like Google News and shit like that. But I hadn't seen Terry Funk, so I didn't realize both of them had died. I guess because the one guy was significantly younger and it was shocking and tragic.
Yeah. It was a 40-year age difference between them, I'm pretty sure.
Right. And, like, while Terry Funk probably wasn't, like, not even probably, like, he wasn't 99 like Bob Barker, like,
no.
He lived a long life and, like you said, was in poor health.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving right along, I'm not going to take super long on this because we're already going a little longer than I thought we would on some of these things. I finally got around to reading the recent X-Men storyline, the Sins of Sinister, which was something that they ran, like, it sort of, like, started the tail end of last year and then ran through into, like, the spring of this year. And it's Mr. Sinister, like the classic X-Men villain from Age of Apocalypse and many things after. He was involved with the whole Krakoa thing by being kind of the person who supplied the X-Men with all the DNA of all of the mutants in the world to help them with their resurrection protocol that they had. Where, like, there are 5 mutants that basically when they Captain Planet their shit, they can bring people back from the dead. So he was kind of instrumental in that and sort of got added to the island, even though I don't think he's technically a mutant. And he was, like, part of, like, their governing body and all. But, like, he's a bad guy and a sociopath and was just in the background doing his own shit the whole time. And so this whole thing spun out of, he had been doing a thing where, when they launched this new era of X-Men, where they're all on this paradise island and they can resurrect people, it was the House of X and Powers of X, and they revealed that a longtime X-Men character who wasn't a mutant was a mutant, and that every time she died, she actually rebooted the entire timeline back to her birth, but retained all of her memories up to that point. And she had gone through 10 timelines, and if she died again on this 10th timeline and hadn't gotten it right, she would not be reborn again. That timeline would just continue, and she would just be dead. Or it might reset one last time, but she wouldn't be part of it. They were never super clear on that. Anyway, Sinister figured out how to clone her, and basically use her clones as, like, reset buttons to specific points in his timeline. So, like, he couldn't go back to the past, but he could basically make, like, a save state on, like, a Tuesday, and then, like, play out that week, see how it goes, upload, like, the data of that week, and then hit the reset button and start back at that Tuesday and redo everything for, like, the outcome that he especially wanted. So this storyline is set up where he does that a whole bunch to the point where he actually runs out of clones to take him back to the point he needs to. He's just got one left, so he has to get everything just right. And his plan is basically kill 5 of the X-Men that are kind of the most important to, like, their government, and during their resurrection, corrupt their DNA with his DNA so that he could control them. And it spins out from there and turns into one of those, like, alternate timeline things that historically X-Men does pretty well, like Age of Apocalypse, Days of Future Past. Like, they're kind of known for, like, doing these, like, twisted alternate future things where everything is as bad as it possibly can be. And then eventually at the end of it, they figure out a way to kind of like reset things, and it goes back to like how it was before. Sometimes it's because it's an actual alternate timeline. Sometimes it's because, you know, a character just is a Omega level mutant that can reset reality. Weird shit like that. Mm-hmm. But in this one, he basically gets duped by the things that he corrupts and loses that last clone to reset it. So the miniseries goes over the course of 1,000 years, where he is just slowly kind of dismantled is probably the best way. Like, he goes from like top of the food chain to like everybody hunting him, but also like the entire universe is just destroyed. Like, the 5 X-Men that he corrupted have basically like just segregated off the galaxy or the universe, and they're just constantly at war with each other, while he is trying to find that last clone that he has to try and reset things back, just so he can redo it and do it right. Like, it's not like he's not doing it to like do the right thing and set it back. He wants to literally do the same thing again, just with the knowledge of what made it go wrong, so that he can try and make it not go wrong. Unfortunately, this, while like it had a lot of cool concepts, it was not done super well. It was like 3 books. They replaced 3 books in the line with like 3 like alternate titles for 3 months. And like, while they loosely tied into each other, there was never enough overlap for them to really matter to each other. And it was all so disconnected that it was just, you knew almost from the very beginning that like none of it was going to matter. And it seems like even where it ends up, it doesn't really matter. Like, all of the characters are right back to where they were. They're just like a little more, they're a little shook up because they were told what they did when Sinister like controlled them. So like, they're still running the island. Like, all the resurrection stuff is still in place. Like, nothing really changed from this, and it seemed like it was being set up to be the thing that changed some of that. Because frankly, like, the X-Men books have been fucking boring for a while. Like, not downright bad, but and Rich, you actually, you kind of made a complaint about this once before, I believe, when I was talking about the X-Men. Like, there are already comic book characters where death doesn't matter, but to literally make it so that death just doesn't matter, like, it takes any urgency out of stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like, they have added things over like the last handful of years that in certain instances death matters. Like, Storm and Magneto deleted their backups. They can be resurrected, but they won't be resurrected as themselves. They'll basically just be resurrected as empty shells with their power. And they added like the stipulation where if they're in Otherworld, which is just like an alternate magical universe, and die, they cannot be resurrected because they come back not as an empty shell, but as like just their personalities of a different person who has no memory or anything of the person they were before. So like, they've added like little curveballs to it, but it's still, you know, if X-Force gets sent out on a mission and all of X-Force gets killed, they're just going to bring them back. Like, it's no big deal. And like, that is a bummer, that they had this kind of like potentially cool event and they just ended it by resetting everything back to literally resetting it back to the way it was before the event happened. And yeah, I don't know. The way they kept talking in the books and like everything was being set up, I really thought there was going to be like a bigger impact. And there may be a bigger impact coming down the line, but I know as of at least right now, they just had the next Hellfire Gala thing, and I'm pretty sure that's where they introduced Kamala as a mutant. So like, nothing bad's happened yet, but yeah, Sins of Sinister, probably worth skipping if you haven't skipped it already.
Honestly, that's what it sounds like with a lot of X-Men in general. Like, X-Men, just skip it.
And it's a shame because like, some of the books are like actually really good depending on who's working on them. Like the Wolverine book, Wolverine, really fucking good. But it's also kind of like this separate thing where, like, so just very quickly, another one of like the resurrection things involved, but like Wolverine's killed. They do not resurrect him correctly. Beast kind of like wiggles in and like circumvents the protocols they have and resurrects Wolverine without his personality, and then literally turns Wolverine into like his killing machine, like more so than Wolverine already is. Like, he basically just took Logan out of the equation and has the animal.
I thought you were going to say that he had the personality of Doc Ock and now we have Superior Green or some shit.
No, but we're getting Superior Spider-Man back and I'm excited. That was some of the best Spider-Man has ever been.
Comics, man.
Yeah, but yeah.
Could you imagine if the
Wolverine's
MCU
very good.
went for Superior Spider-Man? People would be so confused.
Oh, it it's a shame because like that would never work because you don't have 60 years of like the characters to play off of. But like the actual Superior Spider-Man like run was good. I'm glad that they ended it and they put Pete back as Spider-Man. But I love that they found a way to then turn Doc Ock into his own version of that character. Mm-hmm. And then like undid that by forcing him to make a deal with Mephisto. Like that part was stupid. But apparently it's coming back. We're going to have Doc Ock as Spider-Man again. As a Spider-Man, I should say. So.
Spider Family now, just like the Bat Family.
Oh yeah, I think there are actually more Spider-based characters than there are Bat Family characters.
Yeah.
But anyway, Drew, you played through all of Pokemon Trading Card Game?
Yeah, I beat it. It's pretty easy, honestly.
Is it that short?
Yeah. Well, so the thing is, like, it's not like a Pokemon game that you have to go across routes, run your way from city to city or whatever. You pick a deck at the beginning, either grass, fire, or water, and then just go. You can go to any of the 8 gyms except the fighting gym, because you have to find the whatever apprentices or whatever that you have to beat before the gym leader will fight you in 3 of the other gyms, and beat them, and then you can unlock that gym leader. But otherwise, like, you could pick a deck, go, and almost all the gyms you can just go directly to the gym leader, fight them, and move on.
Huh. So like it's been 20 years, I guess, since I played that?
Yeah, I fucking did not remember that at all.
What, how old it was?
Well, no, like how that game worked.
Yeah, no, so like that's what I was going to say. Like, in my memory, it was a much longer game. But I just did the how long to beat, and yeah, like main story only, just under 11 hours is the average.
That sounds about right.
And yeah, like in my head, I'm like, no, that game took weeks. Like you had to not train your deck, but like you had to get your deck better. You had to go battle all the other trading card trainers and fucking get the best deck so that you could beat the gym leaders. You couldn't just go fucking take them down.
Yeah, no, you just go take them down.
But I guess as a 13-year-old, what the fuck do we know?
It's true, but like there's no grinding. Like you're not leveling things up. So
you do get cards as you play, though, right? And like you can like update your deck.
Yeah. So every person you beat, you get 2 card packs when you beat. So there's the gym leaders and then just random trainers all around in like the 3 or 4 or so people in their gym, and then occasionally there'll be like 1 or 2 people off on like the side room of the gym that you could fight, including the people for the fighting gym. But yeah, and then the card packs are random. Like I still don't have a Dragonair, so I can't even use the Dragonite legendary card you get at the end, because fucking I don't have a Dragonair.
Huh.
And how can you like go back and replay previous trainers?
Yeah, you can. That's all you do is you just go back and keep fighting everyone. There's a computer in the professor's lab that you can keep playing up to 5 people in a row. It's just random like people from the game, and if you win all 5, you get like a super special pack. And then there's a challenge thing where you can fight 3 people in a row and get a special pack from that. But I don't think the packs are actually any different, really. So
they might be. Might have to look into it and see if there's like any. Yeah. For instance, to get that Dragonair, maybe there's a way to have an increased chance of getting the Dragonair.
Yeah, like I don't know if there are 4 or 5 different types of card packs. I think it's 4, and I don't know if the Dragonair is only in like one particular one of them, and I need to go find or just fight the people that will give you that card pack or whatever.
And this is just Gen 1, right? I've never played it.
Yeah. Like this is honestly, it's the first 2, or I guess first 3 series of cards, because it's the base set, Jungle, and Fossil.
Yeah.
There are a few cards that are exclusive to the game that have effects that like only could happen in a video game. Like the Moltres special card, when you play it, you randomly get between 1 and 4 fire energies from your deck, and then it shuffles the deck, which I guess you could do with like a 4-sided die or whatever. There's some things where it's like, oh, it'll randomly attack just anyone when you set the card, and like that you could do with like a 6-sided die, like, but it's kind of like things that are a little more too random to be able to do in a actual card game, which I like when they do that in digital card games. Like Hearthstone has a bunch of that shit where it's like, oh, well, this random thing will happen, and it's like you can't do that with real cards.
Can you just totally like unbalance your deck and have it basically unplayable, or does the game kind of like restrict and like you can only like have so many of this type of card or whatnot?
I think theoretically you could.
Like, can you add that Dragonite to your deck and just like not be able to use it?
I'm sure I could.
Okay,
I haven't tried, but
that's actually kind of cool. I don't remember how open it was when it came to like customizing the decks, basically.
I mean, there are like card limit rules in the Pokemon trading card game that it applies to, or
right, like you can only have so many cards in a deck, right?
Yeah, like I think aside from energy cards or basic energy cards, you can only have up to 4 of any one card in your deck. But I don't think it'll stop you from putting cards in your deck you couldn't use. Like, I think you would have to have one basic Pokemon in there, but then you could just put a whole bunch of evolution Pokemon and fucking never be able to use them.
Yeah, or like I wonder, like, would the game let you build a deck and never add any energy cards, or like build like an electric deck and only add grass energy?
Probably.
Which, like, I hope it does. Like, you know, I just think that would be funny.
Yeah,
not so much because like people should do that, but more of a just like you can be your own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, you technically still could use some of the cards, even if you had like all grass energy and all electric Pokemon. Like, some of the attacks just use whatever in it, and it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
So I'm sure it would let you do that.
It's been a very long time since I actually like looked at how the trading card game works. So
but yeah, well, it's a goofy little excuse to kill some time.
That's fair. That is fair. And then Rich, you play? Is it Palia? Is that how you say it?
Yes, Palia. At least that's how I'm saying it. I think it's Palia. Yeah, I played. I got into the. I don't know if it's. I guess technically it's closed. Like, it's a beta. It's a beta beta version still of Palia. It is. If you like Stardew Valley, it's possible you're going to like this. But it's an MMO. Which means there's no like. For lack of a better term, there's no like fast forwarding time or anything like that. And so like. There's no energy bar that makes you tired. That means you have to go to sleep that day to wake up and do your stuff again the next day. Everything is based on time. And it, to me, feels very like cell phone gotcha type of like, oh, you want... Although there's no aspect of this. It's, oh, you want to craft these bronze bars? Well, it's going to take you 3 minutes per 5 bronze to make a bronze bar. One single bronze... Yes. 5 bronze, 1 bronze bar, 3 minutes.
Jesus.
Horrible ratio. Horrible ratio.
MMO as hell.
And so it's like, if you want, you can set up multiple smiths, forgers, but on your plot of land, you can only set up 5 at a time, because that's what you have the license for. You can increase your license but that's 5,000 gold.
So this is like micromanage the game.
Kind of, yeah. You can, it's because there's no energy system, since there's no sleep system, because it's it's universal. The time is the same for everybody's character. They force you, they give you things you can do. There are daily tasks and things like that you can do, but you are beholden to the game's time. So if you just want to go farming, you literally have to wait 3 days, 4 days in game for stuff to finish farming. You can't, alright, I'm done watering my crops. There's nothing else I want to do today. I'm going to go to sleep and wake up the next day like you can in like Stardew or any other farming sim, slice of life sim games. You're beholden to the world time, the server time.
So are you immediately in with other people, or can you play it kind of by yourself?
I have not gotten to a point that requires people to play. However, you are always with other people.
So like you see like other people running around?
Yeah, if you're in the hub world, if you're in the main world, if you're in the like the different regions that you can be in, you will see other people running around doing their thing. If you say shoot a deer that you need to hunt for meat or whatever, and somebody's there with you, you will both be able to pick up that meat. Not just the first person who gets it. So like, that's good.
That's kind of cool.
But like, it is like, my biggest issue is like you're stuck on their time. So if you don't want to do any of the other quests, if you don't want to do anything else, you can set up your crops and then just walk away and come back in 10 minutes when it's the next day, or 20 or a half hour when it's the next day, or set up your crops, log off, play something else for an hour, log back on, and your crops might be ready, should be ready. I believe like it continues to track progress after you log off when it comes to your crops and everything that's time based.
I'd hope so.
But like, it's still like, if I don't know, I think it's fine. I think it's a fun and interesting game. It's definitely not a game that I'm going to continue to play on stream unless I'm just not feeling anything else, because there's nothing to it. There's no excitement. There's no like, as far as I can tell, there's nothing really to this game besides it's a farm sim isekai. You are a human who somehow appeared in this world, and you're trying to understand why you're in this world.
Which is fucking weird.
Yeah. And the people that you're in this world with are, like, the other players are humans. The rest of the characters are, like, blue elves, basically. And
so
a
it's,
cat. There's
so
a
it's
talking
a
cat.
bunch of player characters that are all isekai'd.
Yeah, where the player characters are invading this world, but not on purpose. They are isekai'd in.
Can you, like, go to other people's farms and, like, do stuff?
I was just about to ask the same thing.
Probably, but you'd have to be like in a party and you have to be invited into their.
Okay, so it's not like
farm.
It's not like PvP where you could just go in there and like wreck somebody's farm.
No, so your farm is your own instance. So when you go to your farm, you go into your own instance. It's not like the overworld or anything like that. So you load up into your own farm, and then you can do whatever you want. If you have friends, so for instance, I just unlocked the ability when I stopped playing on Sunday. I unlocked the ability to make soup. You couldn't make soup initially. You could only grill on the campfire. And in order to make soup, you have to have the ingredients. You then have to go to... It's really dumb. You go to the camp stove. In order to cook, or on the stove at least, in order to cook, you also have to craft both the stove and the prep station. And so you go to the stove and say, all right, I want to cook vegetable soup. Then you have to go to the prep station and cut the vegetables. And you have like 5 tries to cut them properly. If you don't cut them properly, you might lose the ingredients or whatever. I don't really know. And then you go back to the stove and you stir the soup. And then you're done. But if you have somebody with you, you could both go to the stove. One goes to the prep station, one goes to the stove. And the one person can be doing the cutting while you're doing the cooking. But you can't like be constantly prepping. It's you prep, you select it, then you prep it, then you stir it. And then it's done. Then you have to select it, prep it, stir it again. And so it's like, I don't know, it's a weird system, but it is like you can do things with other people. You can bring people into your farm and they can help you gather supplies, or maybe gather supplies, I don't know. But the time ratios, it seems, for a lot of the crafting, like wood planks are 1-to-1, which is fine. And it's 1-to-1-to-1. It's 1 minute for one wood plank from one log. That's great. That's perfect. But then it's like, stone is 1 brick for every 3 stone, and it takes 2 minutes.
So, is this free to play?
Right now it is, because it's the beta. I don't know what they're going to do in the future. Like, you cannot get into this unless you have a referral code, or you contact them and they send you a login.
Okay.
You can't just play it. You need, like, a referral code, I believe.
Okay, so it wasn't like an open beta or anything.
No. Which I can give referral codes if people. I think I have a few referral codes that I can give to people if they want to give it a try.
I don't.
But no, here's the worst thing. The worst thing. The thing that, like, and I posted this on my Discord. I posted this on Twitter. This is the thing that I hated the most. My first night playing it, like, I wanted to try it out before streaming it just to see if I liked it. Because this was a game that I wasn't really sure I was going to like or not, and I didn't want to go into it, play for an hour, and be like, this game's fucking stupid, and it sucks, and blah, blah, blah. Or, like, find it boring and just be bored for an hour of stream on Sunday. So I'm like, let me jump in. This is a different kind of game that I know I should try first. So I jump into it, and I load it up, and I play for about 3.5 hours. And I get to a point within an hour or so where it's like, hey, you can build a house. Do you want to build your house? I'm like, yeah, absolutely I want to build my house. let's build my house. So it's like, all right, to build your house, you need 100 wood planks, and you need 35 stone bricks. So right there, you're asking me 100 minutes in wood planks unless I build a second sawmill. So let's say I build a second sawmill. You're asking 50 minutes just for wood planks and 70 minutes for stone bricks. Or if I split that in half, if I build a second one, less than that, or build or whatever. But minimum, because it really doesn't make sense to have more than 2 sawmills, minimum, it's going to take you 100 minutes to gather these supplies. Which, yes, in that 100 minutes, you can go do side quests, you can go do fishing, you can work on your farming. 100 minutes is like maybe a day and a half to 2 days in-game time. So it's not really a lot. You can't really get a lot done when it comes to like the time-sensitive things. But it's still, that's a long time to sit around and wait.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to set this up and I'll have my house. And this way I can like decorate my house before I call it tonight and load up. And tomorrow I can show people how I decorated my house before getting into playing the game and talking about the game. I finish it. I set all of my... It needs you to like bring all your supplies to the house and set it up. I set it up. Your house will be ready in 8 hours. Real time. 8 hours.
That's rough.
So on top of having to have done everything, you then wait.
On top of an hour... An hour plus, I then have to wait another 8 hours. Again, I logged off, I logged back on, my house is ready. So, like, you're not beholden, you don't have to be online for that 8 hours to count, but it still sucks because I wanted to decorate my house before I called it. Mm-hmm. The other thing that is a little bit frustrating is you can craft as you craft, like, the different things for your house, you unlock more things that you can craft. So, like, they want you to try to craft everything to get that check mark to unlock more things to craft. It makes sense to keep crafting more and more so that you can unlock things. But you can't sell anything you crafted. You can't sell it to the general vendors or anything. And you have limited storage space based on how many storage boxes you have. That... Now, because I was just like, all right, let me craft this so I can unlock something else, and going down the list, I just have a bunch of shit sitting in my inventory, sitting in my space, that I can't get rid of. I don't know if I can break it down or anything. I don't know if I can just trash it and drop it, but like, that sounds like a waste of supply. Why can't I just sell what I crafted? I should be allowed to sell crafted items. Because otherwise now it's taking up storage space, which... Storage space isn't limited. One of the good things they did is if you say you have a storage box at the front of your property and then like 4 storage boxes at the back of your property, they're all linked. So you only have to go to one storage box in order to go into it. But it's still the fact that I now have to keep all of the stuff I crafted in storage because I don't actually want to set it up in my house because I really don't have the room in my house right now, because to make my house bigger, I need to pay gold for it. I need to get the supplies for it, and then I need to wait the X amount of hours for it to craft. And that sounds like a nuisance.
Yeah, that really does.
Yeah.
So, I didn't realize, so this is only on Switch?
It's on PC as well.
Oh, everything I was looking up makes it look like it's only going to actually be on Switch.
I mean,
Are you playing on PC?
I'm playing on PC, yeah.
Yeah, like their website, you can only wishlist it on Switch. The IGN page for it says releasing only on Switch.
It's not on Steam. It's not on any platform. You get it from their website.
So
it would be fucking wild if they run this beta on PC to test out the Switch game.
Yeah,
like imagine that.
I don't think this is actually going to be a PC game. I think it's a Switch only game.
I mean, I doubt that that's how it's going to be, because why are they letting me test it on PC then? I should have to test it on Switch.
Because the Switch doesn't let you do betas or early access. The game has to be finished before they'll put it on.
Yeah, I doubt it's not going to be available on PC. But if it's not available on PC, and even if I decide never to play it again, if I just spent 8 hours playing this game on PC and then I can't get into it when it gets official release,
I mean, they're 100%. They're wiping all of this content, whether it's on PC or not.
And which is another, which, I mean, again, I don't know why you would pay for something during an open access beta, or during an early access beta type like this, but you can spend real money on microtransactions.
So, and that was actually the other thing I was going to ask, is how microtransaction-y does this look? Because everything you're describing sounds like freemium. Like, hey, you can do this thing for free, but if you spend $10, instead of having to wait 8 hours, it'll be ready in 30 minutes.
See, that's the thing. They don't have that in there yet. And I'm saying yet because I don't know if they're going to do that. That's what the game feels like. It really does feel like you can have this house now if you pay us a crystal. And it's going to be one of those introductory quest lines where it's like, hey, we'll give you these crystals for doing these quests. Hey, you got those crystals. Why don't you get your house right away? And like, it's going to be one of those like free-to-play, like mobile-esque games that
they give you a sample for free to get you hooked. It's the drug dealer way.
Yeah, and so like they don't currently at this point. They, as far as I can tell, the microtransactions are really only cosmetic. They're like pets and things like that. But it is very possible that, oh, you want to craft your things faster? Well, if you buy this thing, you can hyperactivate your crafter or some shit like that. It's very possible. Like I am possible to play this game when I have nothing else to play and just feel like gaming by myself, not on stream. But I think if you want to play any sort of farming sim game or anything like this, you'd be better off playing Harvest Moon and shit. Like on the SNES emulator on the Switch. You'd be better off playing it there than you would be playing it on playing this game, because it's just there are a lot of aspects that just don't really seem right. There's these trees which I don't have a axe powerful enough to start chopping them down, but there's some trees that you need multiple people to chop down because they recover the health faster than you can chop it down unless you have two people chopping it. So there's an essence in this game that you won't be able to get if you don't have friends playing this game. But I'm sorry, I'm not playing a farming sim with my friends. I'm not. Like I've done it with Stardew Valley, which, you know what? We all own it. So it is what it is, and that's fine. And Stardew Valley is actually fun and has stuff to do outside of just the farming sim. But when it comes to this game, there's no like mines to go in and dungeon crawl or anything. It is straight up just live your life and explore. There's no boss fights or combat or anything like that.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily sound all that appealing, like as far as those sort of games go.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I like, for the people who loved the freaking, what's it called, Farmvilles and shit, you might love this shit. But like, to me, I was talking bad on it while I was on stream, and I'm just like, I don't know if this is a game I can stick with. I don't know if this is a game I'm gonna continue with. And I know it's not exciting enough to be on stream, and people don't care about it enough to be on stream. That I'm definitely not playing this game on stream. But I don't know. Definitely give it a shot if you like Stardew. Like if it is free to play, or she has access to it, I can give her like a code that she could probably beta.
We don't have a way for her to play it.
Have a way for her to play it. But if it does become free to play, tell your wife to try it out. But I don't think it's gonna hold. I don't think it can hold her attention long.
No, the way that you're describing it, like, I think all of that even if it doesn't end up being microtransaction heavy, just it's that style of everything has a kind of massive timer on it. I think she would get bored with that very quickly, just because even games like Stardew and stuff like that, like, you can't do everything all the time, but you don't have to wait hours of real world time to accomplish things.
And to be fair, the only thing that took a long time was building the house. That was it. Cooking, grilling. Like, grilling took 15 seconds. Everything else was automated. It did it on its own. You didn't have to hover over it while it was doing it, and you could go do other things, all of the crafting and supply creation, stuff like that. Yes, it took 100 minutes for me to get 100 planks, but during those 100 minutes, I was doing other stuff.
Right, but that's also very early game. We don't know, like, usually with that sort of thing, like, as you go, the more impressive materials become longer and longer and longer to do.
Yeah, exactly. Who who knows how this game is going to advance when the official release comes out. Who knows if they are going to have that gacha aspect of, all right, now you only have 100 energy per play session, and if you want more, you have to pay for it, kind of shit. Like, who knows where they're going to bring this and hold their players to? Who knows?
Yeah. But I think that's probably a good place to wrap up for tonight, unless either of you guys have anything else you want to talk about first.
No.
Cool. So next week, maybe we have a little Mario to talk about, because there is a Mario Wonder Direct tomorrow.
It's just going to be about the one. I mean, maybe, but it's just going to be about that game. Like,
yeah, no,
it's not
that's why I
gonna be
said
anything special.
maybe we have some Mario to talk about next week. But other than that, if you'd like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, like Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or Spotify. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of that stuff helps a whole bunch. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo. You can always send us emails to social@one-quest.com. And Rich, what is your streaming?
Check me out on twitch.tv/b_walnuts or at bwalnuts on YouTube and b-walnuts on Kick, because they don't do underscores. For video game streaming, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays. I 100%ed Death's Door this Monday, so that was kind of uneventful. But you should definitely come check me out playing Ender Lily's Quietus of the Night over the next couple of weeks. I'll probably jump into some Starfield, because since I had to get new tires, I don't have any money anymore, so I can't really be buying things until City Skylines 2 in October. So whatever's available on Game Pass is what I'll be playing, probably. Or I've got a ton of other fucking games that I haven't even touched that I'll play as well.
That's, you know what, random's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But other than that, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See yous.
Bye.